The simplest shapes in this world are the easiest ones to handle, really. Thank you. Whereas the more complicated a shape, the more curves it has, sometimes the harder it is to deal with. Like this funny boat. Oh. And so it is with architecture. A simple rectangular building is usually pretty straightforward to build, whereas the more curves and radiuses and interpenetrating cylinders there are, the crazier it is. Something of an operation. It requires patience, and it is not something you can rush. Flip. Lincolnshire's marshland by the North Sea coast is an area of vast horizons and patchwork landscapes. Amy and Paul Wilkinson, their two children, Terry and Johnny, and Paul's elder daughter, Lucy, have lived here all their lives.
Those are little puppets.
Start chucking them stones in. It's supposed to be a quiet country retreat.
Paul bought this lake and the land surrounding it for £140,000 2 years ago, seemingly on a whim.
You wake up in the morning and you get the sleep out your eyes and your husband's there telling you he's bought a 16-acre plot of land.
Yeah, I do things like that. I found it online at 2 o'clock in the morning. I rang the gentleman up at 6:30, 7 o'clock, met him here at 8, half past. Loved it, bought it, Ames loved it. Perfect.
A self-confessed insomniac, Paul spent all his waking hours working as a property developer.
For the last 5 years I've made my money out of sourcing properties and doing up and renovating. Yeah, so this will be the next project, I think, Adam. I'm a 100% workaholic. I find it very difficult to stop. I find it very difficult to relax. Yeah, I think we've got to start at the top and work our way down, I think. I like pushing myself to the limits. That's why my back's knackered, that's why I'm knackered.
Despite his physical limitations, he's relentlessly driven, and it's proved very lucrative.
Yeah, people call me an entrepreneur, but I don't like that word. We own various things now, from car parks to hotels.
And now the couple own a handful of holiday fishing lodges they've had built on the plot, run by Amy.
Yeah, we've got one lodge available.
But these lodges will be dwarfed by the extraordinary home that'll take shape at the other end of the lake, the design of which originated in an unlikely hobby.
We're a couple that tend to do things a little bit different and a bit quirky. I love metal detecting, hoping to find, a Roman brooch, a coin. It's really fascinating. We're interested in history, especially like the Celts and the Celtic design of the roundhouses, and that's inspired us for the design of our house.
It's always been a dream to build our own home and to build one that's really strange and unique.
I've never done anything on the scale that we're about to attempt.
But I love a challenge, and I'll not let her down anyway. No way in this earth will I ever let her down.
As well as constructing the lodges, Paul has made a 300-metre track to access his Celtic roundhouse superhome. Amazing sight. And the house goes where? At the end of this drive here?
End of this drive, that'll be the main cylinders of the main house.
You say cylinders?
Well,
what?
Cylindrical...
Like drums?
Like drums, yeah.
Yeah.
Interlocking drums, and there'll be 8 drums in total. With
8?
With the outbuildings.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then a little bit of decking to interlock each drum.
So I shouldn't think of this as a house, but more a series of interconnected buildings with walkways between them, just like a little Celtic village almost.
Yeah.
Paul and Amy's village will start with the foundations for 5 buildings. Of these, the 3 interlocking drums of the main house will be the hardest to get right. They'll raise most of the ground floor of these 3 drums with a wall of engineering bricks, as they're in a flood risk zone. A timber superstructure will be manufactured off-site to fit this base precisely. A giant spider's web of 117 glue lamp posts and beams will make up the frame, with 194 pre-made panels for the curved external walls and straight internal partitions. The interior will be semi-open plan, flowing horizontally and vertically. There's a second floor to 2 of the cylinders, and an enormous tinted glass lantern, a cherry on the top. Over in the left semicircle will sit the utility area, while on the right, the circular one-off kitchen. Step inside the front door, straight into the family's living space, and you'll be presented with a ring of 16 wooden posts like in a Celtic round hut, between you and a view of the lake. The top-lit stairs will lead to a never-ending balustraded landing and 5 ensuite bedrooms that follow the curve of the ring. Amy and Paul's room has a large balcony, a private space with far-reaching views to the horizon. There'll be a raised deck to surround the house and connect it to the second largest building, the swimming pool. There's also a biomass plant room, a single-drum entertainment and music room, and a giant circular kennel and pound for their 4 dogs. Cylindrical houses are difficult to construct, and yet Paul thinks he can finish this entire village of buildings in just 1 year. That would be remarkable if you can do it that quickly.
I'm not very patient, I'm afraid.
Like everything done yesterday.
Circular buildings are difficult to build because, well, they haven't got too many straight lines in them, and they're difficult to plaster. They require quite a lot of clever thought when it comes to furnishing them.
We actually don't look at it like that.
No?
We actually think it's going to be easy.
Good.
Yeah, it'd be a breeze.
You can have everything made how you want it, and you're not buying it from a shop, you're having it bespoke made.
Easy, but then expensive, probably. So how much is it going to cost it?
I don't think it's going to be very cheap. I'd like to keep it below £1 million if possible.
That's very, very little. This is a huge, difficult, curvy multiplex. It'll need an expert workforce, won't it? So who's going to build this then, this house?
And my friend Nick, he's going to do the foundation, and then a good friend of mine, Adam, he'll be doing the block work and brickwork.
So, mates?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm project managing it.
Have you done anything like this before?
Not on a scale like that.
Yeah. So what could possibly go wrong?
We did a kitchen extension.
That's fine then.
It's a square one.
Even better. It would take most people 2 or 3 years to complete a project of this scale and intricacy. But Paul has plucked 12 months seemingly out of the air. Still, he's quick off the starting blocks, and 3 weeks in, he's already pouring the concrete foundations of the main house.
It's all going well then, my booty.
9 drums combine to make up their sprawling complex, but these 3 rings are the most difficult.
The design, maze-like construction, looks very similar to the Starship Enterprise from above.
Or a Celtic rune. It all has to be super precise, as the timber superstructure is being built off-site to slot directly on top.
Was he supposed to have done that? Oh, he's just hit one of the footings.
Working at warp speed, Paul is trusting professionals he's been mates with for years to get it right. And that includes his architect.
I wanted to have some fun, and this is my swan song because I'm retiring. We tried to think of shapes that sit comfortably in the landscape. Be a little unusual.
It's a gift from you to Paul and Amy. Because you've worked with him for how long?
Probably about 4 or 5 years. He's very affable, but very urgent. It needs to happen yesterday.
Super quick.
Super quick.
The other thing that seems to be very obvious to me about him is that he's really plugged into the local economy.
Absolutely. We're always working with people that we know. There won't be a lot of contracts flying around.
There won't be a lot of contract. That's an interesting thing. All done, what, on a day rate, on a job rate?
Day rate or a handshake.
Wow. So Paul is really throwing out the rule book here. He's plugging into the local economy, he's employing all his friends, he's building not 1 but 5 complicated buildings with their help. As a result, there are few contracts in place. The thing is, contracts are really useful when it comes to sorting out the liabilities when things go wrong. And on a project as complicated as this, it's not a case of if it goes wrong, but when. By the time the block and beam floor starts 3 weeks later, Paul's imagined schedule has slipped a few days. Adam, Paul's builder mate, is battling with the curvy specifications. It's not straightforward. It's not straight.
So what's this measurement here? From that point there to that point there. See the setting out drawings? Absolutely ridiculous. Because of the detail on this, even if you blow it up, you won't see it, because there's numbers over numbers over numbers. It's confusing. It's pretty new to me than a circular building. It's not run of the mill. A bit more complicated. Just working with more angles than you would usually. Normally sort of straight runs or 90-degree angles. On this one you've got just about every angle under the sun. It is a lot harder. It's like a spider's web, the way it's laid out. It's a bit more challenging.
Each concrete beam needs to be placed, checked, and then cut to a different length.
A lot more time consuming. If it was a square build, you'd have it on in a day. This you 3 days, so three times as long and easy.
None of this is time that Paul has accounted for. And yet, a month later, the pool's foundations are being dug out. And over at the main house, the team are scurrying to finish the pad.
All hands on deck, yeah, got all the boys here. Important job for me, this. It's not a heavy manual job because of my bad back, so I can get stuck in a bit with this because I'm not lifting anything too heavy.
The factory-made timber frame has a strict delivery date, and Paul is a week behind.
We're under a little bit of pressure because the timber frame is coming imminently. We've got so many different jobs on the go. Got to get the insulation in, pipe work in, concrete on top, getting it dry. Everything's a clockwork, it moves, and if one thing stops, the next eight things stop behind, and it's no good.
Paul's already booked his tradesmen at a cost of £1,000 a day. He can't afford to have them standing around waiting, and he can't cut corners to accelerate the project, because there are no corners.
Nightmare, an absolute nightmare. Just rushing, rushing at the minute. Paul likes to be very efficient. Everything he does, he likes done quickly, and it's stressful, very stressful.
That will be done by Monday. We're on it.
I like your confidence. Monday.
Stroke Tuesday. Yeah, we'll have it. Me and him will work all weekend. We love it, don't we, kid?
Love it.
Yeah.
Absolutely love it.
Because I did promise the timber frame guy I would have 10 days drive for the house to sit on top of it. My biggest fear that the house ain't going to fit on the brickwork. Even though his brickwork's perfect, I've still got a bit of a fear that it won't fit on, but it should do.
We'll see. 20 miles up the coast, the timber house Paul and Amy have ordered is nearly complete. Paul is placing all his trust in yet another old pal to get it spot on.
We've never done a 360-degree house, never.
Unusually, this cylindrical frame has been laser cut for accuracy. It's costing over 40 grand more than its square equivalent, and it comes in at £150,000.
It's got to be millimetre accurate. It has got to fit the foundation that we're delivered, and if it doesn't fit, it's then a remake, so it's very important we get it right first time.
They don't want to remake this. It would take 4 months to do that.
I'm feeling quite excited, a little bit sick, a bit stomach churning. My biggest fear has always been if the house won't fit on the foundations, because somewhere along the line there's a big expense that we don't want to drop in again.
There'll be trouble.
And then there'll be trouble.
The dry Lincolnshire weather has been kind to Amy and Paul and their collection of roundhouses. It allowed the concrete to dry and the bricks and mortar to set, and Paul's guys to fit a plywood plate ready for the vast timber frame that arrives today. But Paul is falling behind. Is this bang on schedule?
We are about 3 weeks behind.
Why?
We're just starting to discover the complicated side of it. From digging the curved trenches to Adam laying the curved walls, it has put us behind a little bit.
Everyone, including the timber frame company, have accommodated this, but now comes the feared-for moment where off-site meets on-site. First load's coming off. This is very exciting.
This is where it gets serious.
Yeah.
If that doesn't fit on them sole plates, it's all no good. Everything's built. If Jack don't meet Jill, it's no good. End up. Fingers crossed.
194 panels will form the 3-drum main house, and each must fit precisely in the right place.
Everything's going well, I presume. There's nobody shouting, nobody screaming, nobody scratching heads, so there's only me that's looking confused, which is a good sign, I think.
But before he can see if all his frame is a true fit,
Adam, is it half day today?
the timber assembly team down tools.
What's happening? All bizarre. It looks like we're all going home at 4 o'clock in the day. What's that about?
Unlike his usual crew, these subcontractors aren't Paul's mates, and they keep to normal construction hours. And Paul hates this. Because behind the scenes, he's risking losing £20,000.
The reality of us running 2 to 3 weeks behind is I'm actually paying the cladders at the moment to stop at home because we're not ready for them to do the cladding yet, because obviously he's only just started being built. I'm thinking, let's get it chucked up, but I'll wave cheerio to him at 3 minutes past 4. Not great.
Paul takes his first day off from the site 3 weeks later to spend time with his kids, Johnny and Terry. But of course, he can't stop thinking about the house.
My only stress levels I've got is that the timber frame is taking longer to erect than what I wanted it to. The builders are very good, but they're doing my head in because they're not putting in long enough days. I keep asking real nice, can we stop on for an extra hour or two? But the foreman on site has explained to me that it can't be rushed at this stage because we're playing with millimetres. We can't mess it up. It's just going to take its time.
It's 7:30 in the evening, and Paul, restless as ever, heads to site.
I've come tonight to have a look, see how the progress has got on today. And I know it's 8 o'clock at night, but it's still light. There's 4 or 5 panels stood up. 4 or 5 panels stood up. Full day.
In fact, the frame assembly subbies are on track. They'd always said it would take 5 weeks. Paul, truthfully, isn't frustrated by them, but by himself.
I do beat myself up because I thought, if I push them on a little bit, hopefully I could get it up in 3 weeks, and then I can get the other teams in to try and beat the wet weather coming. I am the type of person that will be here all the time. I have a bit of a sleeping disorder. I never sleep. I only sleep for 2-3 hours a day. I'm hyper all the time. I just need to be doing stuff. I've got to try and get a bit of patience with everything I do. I'm a bloody nightmare, really, because I have to have it now. I have to get it done and dusted.
But haste is the enemy of quality, especially when a design is unusual. This home by the architect John Newton is the epitome of the roundhouse, the perfect example. It bears the marks of an obsession with curves and with quality, which is exquisitely evident at every turn. I mean, rotation. If you visit any good building, you'll find it's a sort of catalogue of the finest door handles and the nicest light switches you can buy. But here, everything has been made to be bespoke, down to every nut and bolt. This one-off approach isn't just evident in the more obvious fittings, like the 6-foot concrete table cast to follow the exact arc of the dining room. It's in the smallest details. So everything about this door is specially made for this building. The frame, panel, structure, the handle and the plate. And the handle is semicircular, but in reflection makes a circle. Oh, look at this. You see now, that control panel is a standard manufacturer's lighting control panel set into a little beautifully bespoke made circular disc, set into the casting of the concrete. Not expensive to do, but what it does require is imagination and forethought. What a magnificent thing this building is, eh? Beautifully crafted. And the product, of course, of fertile minds. And that's the big question for me with regards to Paul and Amy. Do they have the time to not be just swept up in the moment of trying to build the damn thing, but to consider it, to be meticulous? It is very hard to focus on meticulousness in the rain and mud. The main house is up. It is being clad, but Paul is seeing his implausible schedule tossed to the wind. He's rather desperately got his glazier to sight.
Yeah, we're about 2 months behind. We should have been here back in the beginning of August, but unfortunately the foundations took a lot longer to get out of the ground than they thought. And Paul, being Paul, was very pushy. He expected it all to happen within a matter of weeks, and the reality is it took a lot longer to do the work.
Simon's on site to measure up his windows, but the project isn't ready. They've yet to make the curved sills.
Do you want those sills in really before you measure, or can you...
No, we would never do anything without this physical opening.
I think we'll go... Mickey's quite...
Simon can't get exact measurements and can't get on with the job.
How long till you get the sills done?
3 days.
Is this Paul time scales or...?
No, realistic, no. A lot of people would take a month to do that, but we'll have it done and dusted in 3 days. I want you measuring up on Tuesday, really, don't we?
I'd like to be here Tuesday.
Because then we're only 10 days away from fitting.
3 to 4 weeks.
Yeah. And that is as tight a timescale as we can get to, is it? Because we're sort of, yeah, just want to get this bucket dry now.
In truth, the windows are weeks off. Now Paul calls the fiberglass guys to at least get his timber roof watertight.
Hi, mate. Here's the right we can do, because I'm gutted, really, mate. I'm just looking around my house. There's just heaps of puddles in there. It's ruining my kitchen. It's stressing me out a bit, to be fair. If you can get every person you've got here tomorrow, let's get these last 2 roofs dry, and then I ain't going to be so stressed out and I won't shout at you so much. Top man. See you in the morning, bud. Thank you. Thank you, bye-bye, mate. Well, I'm stressed out because I don't mind paying for everything once, but I don't want to pay for it twice. It's heartbreaking to see the water just flooding in here today, as you can see. 400,000, 500,000, 600,000 pounds of stuff getting ruined at the moment. We need to get it dry. Dry is good.
Although there is good progress on the curved exteriors, Paul fails to meet his own deadline and hasn't delivered the sills he promised. There's certainly no sign of the windows. But he has invested in extra manpower.
We've lifted the pool in, we've filled 48,000 litres of water into the pool, ordered the extra cladding, fiberglassed all the roofs. There's so much I've been doing. I having to sacrifice a bit of time away from the family at the moment because I'm obviously here for 18 hours a day at the moment. And budget's flying away, I think. We've had a bit of a mare, really. We probably flew over by 100,000 or 200,000 probably now.
Both.
And today, a £9,000 component of the building is arriving. A technical triumph for Simon the glazier.
Yeah, big day today. The glass dome's going on top of the roof today. I think it's an atrium. How posh must I be to have an atrium? I can't even spell it.
This roof design is the first time we've done a 9-sided roof, so it's very, very unusual.
18 fragile glazing units make up this faceted lantern.
Yeah, unfortunately, this glass is so vulnerable on its edges because it's toughened glass, so any form of pressure, as you strap it up, it breaks very easily. I'll be glad when the day's over.
But before they've even started,
It broke.
Simon discovers he's already a pane of glass down. And now he's got to break the bad news to Paul.
The only issue we've had is one broken bit of glass.
How's that broke?
As they're strapping it up, it just broke the straps in. It's a pain in the ass. 600 quid down the pan as well. It's going to cost to get it all sorted.
Quite an expensive mistake.
And these delicate panes still have to be hoisted 9 metres to the roof.
Here we go. God, I'm starting to get through butterflies now, and I don't do nerves as a rule, but a lot of money's worth going flying in the air there.
It's a slow, deliberate operation. Only a few panes can be safely lifted each time. And it takes 4 people to carefully manoeuvre each one into place.
It doesn't look right, it's not right.
But after 7 tense hours, the remaining unbroken panes are looking resplendent.
Woo!
How smart's that?
Oh, I love it. Oh, it's much better than what I thought it'd be.
Oh, OK.
A week later, it's 5:30 in the morning, and Paul is working alone. The persistent rain has turned his site into a quagmire.
I shouldn't be doing anything at all. My back is absolutely jiggered, really. Yeah, that's why I'm slouched up against the tractor this morning, because my back's playing up a bit. I've always suffered with a bad back for the last 2 or 3 years, but if something's got to be done, I'm afraid it's got to be done. Amy will be mad with me, but I've got to get this dry this morning, else we're simply not getting any lorries in and out today.
Paul has 3 bulging discs in his lower back, caused by a vehicle crash 3 years ago. Exacerbated by working on site, he's in constant pain.
I'm worn out, but in about 3 weeks' time I'm booked in to have my nerves burnt out around my spine to try and ease the pain a little bit. My specialists say I shouldn't be doing no manual work at all, really. I shouldn't be touching any spades for a start.
Paul seems to be digging his way into a whole heap of trouble. I just can't understand what's driving him to build this thing in a year.
I like to know what makes Paul tick, or moreover, what makes him not fall over, because he survives on how much sleep a night?
Oh, sometimes a couple of hours of sleep. I really, really worry about him because we've got this glorious house and spend, you know, the last years of our lives, and I just think, am I going to be wheeling him around in a wheelchair because of his back?
And he's having an op, isn't he?
Yeah.
But inevitably, it's going to affect things here.
Oh, yeah, massively, I think, because Paul's the backbone of the operation.
You can think of any project as a set of compromises. Compromise that's usually felt in terms of the budget or the schedule or the quality of what you're building. Of course, there's compromise on this project, but it's not measured in those terms. Instead, it's measured in terms of Paul's health, in terms of his capacity, his physical ability to complete this project before he literally wears himself out.
Despite delays and overspends, Paul and Amy have been on site for only 6 months. Their home, made from 9 great cylinders, is taking shape, and it's vast.
I've come to the wetland bird sanctuary. Look at it. I don't know where to go. I don't know which hide to make for.
In spite of his damaged back, Paul has kept a brutal pace, and it's paid off. The last windows are being installed. And there's visible progress inside the swimming pool and the music studio and the main house.
Good progress. What do you put it down to?
Because he's just Paul. It's just his makeup. Very impatient. Yeah, in a nice way.
So if you're that far ahead and you're doing so well, that must mean you're spending a lot more money than you thought you would. You thought you'd get the thing done for $1 million, or just under.
It's going to be more than that.
Yeah?
Yeah, 1.123, somewhere around, possibly, yeah.
Is it the price you pay, do you think, for an accelerated programme?
In reality, it's, of course, you pay for the guys on site doing the stuff, but yeah.
Is it taking a toll, Amy, on him?
He's got his bad back, which, you know, he's had, causing him pain.
And you can cope with that?
Yeah. If I didn't do it, it wouldn't get done. So no, it's going to be fine, I think.
But Paul finally accepts his back operation can't be put off any longer.
Hello, mate. I'm just about to go in. Is everything all right your end? Yeah.
He's checked in for an extreme method of pain relief, surgery, that itself brings risks that could threaten his ability to work on the project.
You've got to get him 500 quid cheaper.
Not 500, I can't do it.
All right. 5,700 dead then.
Okay.
Yeah. Cheers, mate. Bye. Deliver tomorrow. Pain's right up there today. I'm sort of slurring my words a little bit, not because I've been drinking too much, because I've had that little sleep. As soon as you lay down, it's like a sword in your spine. And it's been getting worse and worse and worse since we started the build, really, because I've been pushing myself a bit.
Paul's procedure, a lumbar facet denervation, involves burning the nerves that supply his back.
Paul?
Yeah.
So I'm going to numb your skin. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Banging, back.
No, in the back, stop it, please. Is it in the back or in the legs?
Back.
Yeah, that's fine.
His ever-worsening condition has been traumatic for Amy.
He's been in pain for so long, and I can't believe he just keeps going. If it was anybody else, I'm going to just pack up and just feel sorry for themselves. And that's why I love him so much, because he's He's a fighter and he's so strong, and that's what I fell in love with.
Okay, Paul?
Yeah. Oh,
Sorry. I just reached the destination, that's why I'm just checking.
You all right?
Sorry, Paul. One request is don't tense, yeah?
Yeah. I'm good.
We will ask Paul after the operation not to do any strenuous activities for up to a week or 2.
You feeling okay?
Yeah, good.
Fantastic.
I know he's not going to want to take it easy. He will want to be on the building site, but I'm not going to let him. Come on, pass to Johnny.
It's Saturday morning, a few weeks after Paul's op, and only Amy is watching the kids from the sidelines.
Today, Paul was supposed to be having a lie-in, and I wake up at 7 and he's not there, and I text him and he's down working on site. The kids realise what he's building for our future, but at the same time, the boys worry about Paul. I mean, they worry that he is doing too much, so it's messing their dad up physically with his back. He's supposed to rest, but he doesn't listen to anybody. He just does what he wants to do at the end of the day, and that's work.
Yeah, I'll help you. Me and you can, while they two crack on.
Paul didn't waste any time getting back to site. His team are working flat out now, and the ground is riddled in cables and pipes.
Paul stayed away after his operation for about 5-6 hours. I wasn't surprised at all, because he never ever stops. I don't think it's a work hard, I think it's just an illness. I think he's got something wrong with him. He just can't stop. He'll never stop. He'll run himself into the ground.
He is, in fact, intent on his ridiculous 1-year deadline. He has 5 months to finish all the boarding and plastering, a maze of second-fix plumbing and electrics, fit 6 bathrooms, all the floors, joinery and a specially made kitchen. And then there's the furnishings, all of which have to be configured for circles. Amy's in charge of this curvy-worvy task.
I am really panicking. The whole living room area is a big pain. Where we live now, I've got a rectangle living room. It's easy. But our living room, it's like from the front door, open plan, you've got 16 pillars. I think there's 1 straight wall. I've been months looking for furniture and I cannot find anything that's good enough. The only ones that are roundish are really, really overpriced for bespoke products. I am finding it so hard.
While Amy frets over furnishings, Paul's taking on the curved kitchen, and he's obsessing about it.
Try and make my own kitchen, because I do like tinkering about with wood and different things, but being realistic, the time scale and the pressure I've put myself under, I think it's probably out of my remit to do it. It's going to have to all be bespoke made, I think.
Paul's joiners will be making the kitchen units, but he's bringing in experts to do the stone worktops.
The brief is limited. He's got an idea that he wants to create, and he's asked us to get involved to see whether we can deliver that for him. In these situations, we would normally have an architect's plans to work with. At the moment, all we've got is a small piece of paper and a few WhatsApp messages.
So what I'd love is for the worktop to come straight out of that wall, complete curved underneath the breakfast bar.
It makes our life easier if we know what we're following and what we've got to do, rather than being a scrambled mess inside Paul's mind.
So, yeah, now the bit, even in my wild imagination, and I do have some weird things go through my head, what I'd got in mind, sort of thing, was like a bit of a bowl thing there that then runs through, just like a little bit of a lazy river thing there, but it's only in my mind.
Well, it was interesting. Yeah, challenging. Yeah, that was nothing like meeting our normal clientele. We hope we get it right for him.
It's early spring, and by Paul's calculations, the couple have 30 days till they move in. There's an unexpected new age vibe about the place.
It's a henge, the standing stones of Lincolnshire.
In the music and entertainment room, a whole galaxy is coming into existence. On the floor, reassuringly, the cosmic theme hasn't yet taken hold in the house, because here everything is pared back, reserved even.
I'm really encouraged by what I see because it looks beautiful and quite restrained, actually.
We're going to be quite subtle in the house, quite contemporary, Icelandic, modern.
Icelandic?
Yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yeah. That's the first bit of Amy's
Paul, the alien,
Yeah.
for the singing room. It's got a cigar. It's advertised as a cigar.
So that's the sort of furniture what I think we're going to end up selling.
Right. Have you bought the sofa? Have you bought the...
I've said to Paul, I want it
Brilliant.
silver and turquoise.
Unfortunately, I have no say in the soft furnishing department. I built it. Ames decorates it.
Well, I'll pull you up on there because the kitchen's your domain.
Oh, yeah, apart from the kitchen.
Like.
Who's chosen the bathrooms?
Oh, no, I didn't.
Yeah.
Okay, so I can see actually that anything bolted to the building is you, actually. Anything that you can sell and get rid of quickly.
Ames bought it. Yeah. Right.
Paul and Amy have a terrific blank canvas here, but I've no idea what'll emerge from the fusion of Icelandic cool, galactic psychedelia and Paul's scrambled mind. When I first came to this tranquil lake in Lincolnshire 14 months ago, there was just a handful of fishing lodges nudging the water's edge.
It's remarkable, this place. This beautiful wildlife park, a proper Eden, a sanctuary. And thanks to that building, it just got better. Well, at least from here anyway. It is 150 yards away.
Paul and Amy wanted to make a mark on this place. And boy, have they done that. Curving upon themselves, these 5 buildings seem to cascade around the water. The sheer scale of this place is tremendous. A cylindrical multiplex inspired by Celtic roundhouses that might have stood here 2,000 years ago.
This place does what all good buildings should do, which is improve as you get closer to them.
The intersecting buildings change shape as you move around them. Miraculously, nothing looks rushed. It's all properly detailed.
Hello. This house just keeps on giving. It's good.
Good to see you again,
And
sir.
you, how are you? It's so finished, Paul.
Yay!
It's actually took us about 13 months, but I think I did say I'd like to do it within a year.
Yeah.
And so I'm a month over.
So you're prepared to give yourself an easy time, are you, over that?
Yes.
Or are you going to beat yourself up?
No, I can forgive myself on this one.
So I like it. I like it very much. But do you?
No, it's absolutely spellbound. We absolutely love it, don't we?
It's amazing, yeah. And I don't know whether that's something to do with the circular effect,
I don't know.
but it's just calming and peaceful.
100%, you're right, yeah. I've slept right through, haven't I, every morning.
Yeah. Well,
What?
3 or 4 hours
till
he
4.
slept.
Well, that's
4 or 5.
4 hours for you as a lion, isn't it?
That is the result. I'm chuffed a bit. So.
I'm surprised Paul is able to sleep at all. Because there's a host of Celtic creatures and Stone Age effigies marching down his drive. They are out of this world. And good grief, one of them looks distinctly familiar.
Well, that's a lovely thing. And I wouldn't like to say that you've wasted your money. But, I hope they didn't charge you too much for that. Thank you, as long as you don't expect me to take it away. Should we go and have a look?
Sidestepping the unexpected tribute, I'm looking forward to the wonders inside.
Oh, my word. Oh, it's like a temple. A great circular wooden temple. It's vast.
It's a beautifully detailed wooden temple in which to also worship light and reflection, where watery images and patterns shimmer.
This floor, which is like water, so glossy, ceramic, yeah? it reflects the sky in the same way that the water reflects the sky.
It is perfect.
Yeah.
Slide a bucket across there, it doesn't stop. It's perfect. Yeah.
Sofa? I bet you didn't buy that in your local furniture shop, Amy, did you?
No, that's bespoke made, actually.
How much did you pay for that then?
About £8,000.
Yeah, that's the point, isn't it? You build a circular building, you ain't going to find stuff online.
Oh yeah, I've been trying for months.
Yeah.
It's kind of space age.
I love it.
You've embraced the circularity of everything. And then you've done the same thing in the kitchen.
Here, 16 star chamber seats sit around the great circular stone worktop. 8 beams converge on a great central post, each beam mirrored with a row of lights on the floor. This is Celtic meets Star Trek.
Oh my lord, what's this?
This is the lazy river quartz sink.
It's like some kind of psychedelic riverbed, this. It's from a James Cameron film, or Barbarella. It's so totally funky, it's great.
I literally just threw it on the back of an envelope, didn't I?
Yeah.
And the kitchen manufacturers was world class, perfect.
Do you know anybody else, I think, handling this kind of staircase would have not inserted turquoise resin. But because you have, it's brilliantly successful.
Upstairs, Paul and Amy's monochrome bedroom is mercifully a little calmer. Though nothing in this building is simple and straightforward, not even their bathroom.
Is this porcelain again?
Yes.
Yeah.
It's very, very difficult to cut these tiles to fit this shape. This wall's curved, that wall is curved.
I thought the tiling would take 6 to 7 weeks in a house, and it took 17.
Wow.
Once the finished product's there, you can understand why, because they've done it so perfect.
So do you think that you become more tolerant of the need for time in craftsmanship as a result of doing this?
Yeah, probably so, but I shall never build another roundhouse ever again. So it's irrelevant.
It's a big learning curve.
Hey!
Oh.
This place isn't just a reinvented Celtic roundhouse, but a modern country mansion, complete with ancillary buildings for entertainment and sport. It has magnificent kennels and a ballroom.
Good acoustic.
Of sorts, a party space for revelries and the discovery of hidden talent. It staggers me that Paul could trust his friends to build such a home with barely a contract between them. It is a lesson in trust and friendship.
So what's the secret then?
I think quite a good people person, and a very clever chap told me once, remember, it's nice to be important, but it's more important to be nice. And I think about that every day.
The difficulty, though, is that if you're paying a main contractor,
Yeah.
it's a guaranteed fixed sum. You know how much it's going to cost. You said you wanted to do it for what, $1 million?
Yeah. I think we've gone over budget a little bit.
Yes, I'm sure you have.
It's probably 1.2, 1.3 million. I think we've not really added it up as such, but we're proud of it. We're doing this. This is our last hit. This is our forever home.
How's your health?
I'm better. My back still stings a bit.
He does need to rest his back.
Yes, I do.
He needs it resting.
Yeah, I hope I can relax. We're going to enjoy it, and I've grafted.
You really have?
Yeah, absolutely. We're from very humble beginnings, Amy and myself. We feel like we're guests here.
Well, you've done it, mate.
Sorry. No, it's we've done it, kid, haven't we?
So what makes people build houses like this, You see, I think it's a sort of basic primal instinct, a sort of powerful drive, if you like, an energy, which in this case pushed Paul through actually immense pain to finish this, that drove him every morning to get up, before everybody else, actually not in the morning, in the middle of the night usually, to be here on site first, to be the last to leave at the end of the day. That propelled also him and Amy to produce a home so beautifully decorated and crafted that in other people's hands might have been a bit naff, but which in theirs is mesmerising. It's that same energy which, in the right hands, can take ordinary landscape and from it create something extraordinary. Paul here has crafted for himself a little bit of Eden. This is all of 7 yards from your house?
Yep, it's only our environment that makes us disabled.
Chisbury. Bathrooms can be really dangerous and really throw your disability at you. Isn't that dreadful? So it wouldn't fit Mark's wheelchair.
There's a steel post in the middle of the building where the fire was meant to be.
Yes. Felt a bit uncomfortable project managing. So it looks awful.
Yeah.